Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 13, playing through hard mode. And it has been a few months since I uploaded a video. Life got pretty busy. It seems like that's how it's happening during the summers. There's been a lot going on in my life outside of YouTube. My wife and I got a dog. Work has been crazy busy and we've gone on a couple of vacations, which has been nice. But I also noticed that while I was away, there was a new update for Timberborn. And I haven't actually played Timberborn in a few months now, but some of the big updates were that the water physics changed and they made it so that you can actually make aqueducts. And part of that is adding in the impermeable flooring. So if we wanted, we could put some platforms over here and then place some impermeable floor on top of it, as far as I know. I haven't looked into it a whole lot, so I'm going to be exploring some of these new features in today's episode. Another big one is the overhangs, and so now you don't need to have a mod in order to have these. They're built into the base game, which is fantastic. And also, we just ended the most recent drought, so we're going to get some more water coming back online. Looks like we're doing pretty good on water overall. I do remember that this district was doing pretty good. They have only 2 water storage tanks right now. We're working on a third one, but we were having some resource difficulties, specifically gears and metal blocks, I believe. But it does look like we have all of this finished, and I'm noticing that we have another button you can click. I don't know what this does. Okay, so if you follow the instructions, it looks like you can actually see where everything lines up. That is actually pretty convenient. If you wanted to continue this over here, we could just hold X and then see where it lines up. And one of the other additions that they made was the monuments. There's the Earth Repopulator. It takes a lot of science and a lot of resources. And we're not going to be focusing on this quite yet. Gotta get back into the swing of things and figure out where we are. We do want to raise this back up. So this goes by 0.05 now. That is interesting. You can also see that the floodgates have a new look, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming that they were able to make the adjustment down to the 0.05 height because of the new water physics. Apparently it was in 2.5 dimensions before, but now it's in true 3D. So we'll see if that impacts anything in this map. We're going to have some of the water coming over here. It's a little bit higher, so we're going to have not quite as much because we do want to actually fill up this section and get the water coming all the way back down here. They're doing good on water, but we don't know how long the next drought's going to be. And the water is finally overtopping here. Going to start filling this up, and we'll see if we cause any flooding, because I am not sure how the new water physics works. Looks like we had a minimal amount of flooding, nothing too crazy. We do also want to try and get a little bit of water in here. We also finished placing the dynamite in the last episode. We just need to get rid of some of these paths and finish placing the last few pieces. Looks like they finished clearing everything over here, which means we can go ahead and actually just get rid of these jobs. So I ended up lowering this to be even with this height over here because there was 0 water coming out this way. But now we're having a decent flow and it's charging up these. We might not end up needing the engines, at least not yet. And the beavers immediately made all the dynamite. So let's go ahead and detonate this. And I was going to try and work on the beaver's happiness because it was not doing too hot. We could get one of these in. It does give them quite a big boost. So let's get one of these. We'll place it right here. It costs a decent amount of science, but we have some. And then we'll put in one more gear workshop and then use a power shaft to connect it in. Although we'll have to go along the back side right here. And it looks like we're already having another bad tide come in 3 days. Doing decent on water. I do think we want to focus on getting this water storage set up. We're just shy on metal blocks now, so if we can get this thing built, which we need some gears, if we just prioritize that, then they can make some metal blocks faster. And also we want to make sure that we demolish all of this, that way we have the most water available. And you can see the water is jiggling right now. Some of those 3D water physics. And another change that happened in the last few months was that I got a new desk, and so my recording setup is a little bit different. Hopefully the audio is decent in this episode, but it might take 1 or 2 episodes for me to figure it out. Doing a quick resource check, we'll take a look in this district. We have, we're getting close to being full on water. we're doing pretty good on food. Wood's fine, and then some of the other basic resources are looking decent as well. Back in Waterfall Heights, they are nearly maxed on wood, and we're still short on gears as expected. Doing pretty good on other resources though. Food is looking alright. It's a pretty basic diet, just kohlrabis and berries. I think it'll be a good idea to get some more irrigation set up. So one thing we can look at doing is, maybe not in this episode, but maybe we can look at getting an aqueduct going around here and then pouring just a little bit of water into this area, and then that should help irrigate the land around here. I might want to lower this because water spreading doesn't go uphill very well, it just goes sideways much better. So maybe we'll start looking at doing that. Let's start getting a path set up over here. But all of this will not be prioritized above this because we want to get this finished first. It did look like they finished getting that smelter set up, so hopefully they can finish this large water tank pretty quickly. It does look like we have a few bots who need to be charged up. I think we added in some chargers recently, but this might be something that we need to add even more of. Man, these viewers are on it. They finished that so quickly. Looks like we have that attached now. We're running just under 100% efficiency. Doesn't look like we have any extra engines that we can turn on. So we're going to go ahead and try out some of these new features. We have all these platforms, the overhangs. I don't know if we'll necessarily need them. Well, we might need them. We can try using them. They do cost a bit of science, especially for the really large ones. These platforms are much cheaper, but they don't look quite as good as some of these. So we're going to go ahead and unlock the 3x1 overhang. It costs a decent amount of science, but it's not crazy expensive. So what we're going to do is we'll eventually need to remove this block, but first we're going to set up the basics of the aqueduct. So what I'm envisioning is we'll have it go over this way, drop down a few levels, and then come over this direction, and then we'll have the water land in here. Maybe we'll get a few water turbines somewhere down the road, or we could actually put one in the middle here. But the main part is that it's delivering water over here, and then we'll have maybe some levees set up. That way the water will be retained here, and then it'll help irrigate everything over here. Oh, this is cool. You can actually place levees on top of platforms. So you used to not be able to do that, but it looks like with the water physics changes that they are allowing that now. That is a great change. Now before, when I do something like this, I would normally have to look from above in order to place everything correctly. But now if you just hold X, you can see where everything lines up. That is such an awesome tool. So I have the first part of this set up. I do need to add in the impermeable floor. I'm going to wait to do that for now. We do need to remove a few different trees here, and then eventually we'll be cutting these down. We'll see how this comes along. Maybe they can't reach everything, but I think they should have access to most of it. Although I do want to make sure that... Oh, nice. They did finish this. They have some other things that they're working on. This can be deprioritized because we have power right now, and we can use some of those metal blocks for some of these platforms over here. Well, they're called overhangs, so we'll use them for the overhangs. Looks like in this district they are actually maxed out on planks. I do think we could get one of these set up, take some metal blocks. We're doing decent on that. We have enough science, and that'll give them quite a big boost. So let's go ahead and unlock that. We do have 2 number crunchers over here, which is excellent. It produces 10 science every hour, and it's running at 100% efficiency, which is fantastic. And this district actually doesn't get any power from the water. They get a little bit from the bad water over here, but we are going to be able to keep this open. Although I guess it is a bad tide, so this will continue to flow. And another feature that I do remember seeing is that there is sluice? I think it's sluice. But this can be used to redirect water and bad water. So I don't know if you would use the sluice in conjunction with the floodgates, or if they are their own item, because that would be something that would be nice to place over here. Well, I don't know if I'd want it over here. I think I would for sure want one over here, because I don't want bad water to come into this area. And it looks like, oh, they have new building animations now. So they're working on this. They have some of the logs. That's just the very beginning. They're just putting logs in right now. These guys are doing all right on water. I don't know if it's actually been going up since they constructed this. Well, it looks like there is some water in there, so it probably is going up. And with all these projects going on, I don't think there's actually that much going on in this district. We have no workers there. Do we have anyone else sitting around? It doesn't look like there's any beavers sitting on their butts. I don't know what they would be working on exactly in this district, but oh, it's definitely this. They're probably bringing everything over there. But as soon as they finish this, I am going to have them help out these beavers a little bit. So we're going to make a path going all the way over here. And then we'll have them come over into this area, help work on stuff. Although, looks like they can do it from below. And there's just 0.2 days left until the bad tide comes. So let's make sure we redirect all the water that we need to. So that's raised up, this is lowered, and then this doesn't matter. So I think that's actually all we need to do. We're going to actually lower this even more. We don't want any bad water flooding over top. I'm not loving that this is not draining that quickly. But as you can see, the bad tide has started. It is so freaking close to the top. Oh man, it's just barely overtopping. I don't know if we need to make this a little bit lower earlier. It might be the elevation change right here that the game doesn't like. But I can tell you that I don't like seeing the water going up like that. Oh no, and they're walking in it too. We're gonna need to get some decontamination pods set up soon. And also we just gotta figure out how we can deal with this. If we put some dynamite right here, and I think that we can have some of the bad water go out this way and just be redirected off the map. That might be a good little band-aid for now. We could also put some dynamite right here. Maybe it's because we're trying to compress everything going around this corner that it's having difficulty. Oh man. Oh, it's flooding. Ah, jeez. High priority, please. Okay, we'll get rid of this one. Now, yeah, you can see some bad water's going out here. And it looks like it might be enough. Just doing that little bit relieved enough to have the bad water level drop. That is fantastic. Man, these new building animations are hilarious. We can go ahead and detonate these ones. The bad tide's only, looks like it was probably 13 days. Not too bad. I think the most recent one was like 15 or 11. So this is right in the ballpark of what we're used to. I have absolutely no idea how they could reach all of this. This one is adjacent to this, so I can understand, but this is just floating out in space. But maybe it's because the overhang is next to this block? Not sure. We are very much out of metal blocks. We have none in this district and only 30 in the other district. Let's get another smelter online. We're going to want to prioritize it because we're going to be using a lot of metal in the future. It looks like we are starting to run a little bit low on food. We do want to make sure that we have enough to feed them. We have enough overall. I guess we just need to make sure that they're delivering enough. Oh, it looks like we have a lot of beavers who they can't reach the scrap metal, and there's not even that much left. So with this scrap metal almost done, and there is still some over here, we have quite a bit stored up, although we finished clearing of that one. But I do know that there is a mine over here, and so we got to look at getting over here so we can actually use this, which means that we'll need to start blocking this off and dewatering it so that we can actually place a mine over top. And it looks like they changed the suspension bridges. I don't think that they need metal anymore. I'm pretty sure they used to require metal for the 4, 5, and 6 length suspension bridges. We're going to actually go with a 6 length suspension bridge. That way we can reach over here in one go. So we're going to be doing something like this, although they can't reach it because there is no path. So let's get that set up real quick. So now the beavers of this district have something to work on. There's still a lot to do over here. They're making some decent progress. Looks like they've managed to make it all the way over here. And they're also starting to work on some of the levees. They're doing okay on wood, a little bit low, but I think they're getting some from the other district. And they have a decent amount of planks as well. So we have about 8 days left in the drought. It feels like this one has gone a little slow, but overall the beavers are making good progress. We got a 4th smelter set up. Still have, we have 6 vacant jobs. That is no bueno. Just completely shut down all those workers. On food, we're running a little bit low. I think that before we get another breeding pod set up, we got to make sure we have some areas set up for them to do some more farming. So we're going to go ahead and prioritize all of this, and then we're also going to start getting rid of some of these trees and placing down some dynamite. Oh man, that makes sense. We have some contaminated beavers. Let's see if we can squeeze in some decontamination pods. Okay, after pausing all these water pumpers, we have 10 unemployed bots. That's not quite what we want. We can go ahead and replace these hauling post beavers with the bots. Then we'll have some beavers who are able to chill out. Hopefully that should improve their well-being a little bit. You can see that this motivatorium has been pretty popular recently. We have a lot of vacant jobs over in this district, and we actually have some free beds. Food is pretty stable, but I think it might be worth migrating a few beavers over. So we're going to send 5 over, and then we'll leave it at that for a while. And we are starting to place some of the dynamite down, getting some trees chopped. We can also start getting some farmhouses set up. We can go ahead and wait until they finish building some of this before we get rid of this path, and then we can get a second farmhouse down here. Oh man, you can see we are really low on scrap metal. We're gonna have to start unpausing some of these guys. Looks like we're only 1 beaver short of having full beaver capacity to work at all the jobs, which is excellent news. And with everything going on, we are nearing the end of the bad tide. We just have a day and a half left until we're done. And that is going to wrap up today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode back after my little hiatus. Let me know what you guys enjoy most about this new update. I am certainly excited to be able to explore a lot of these new items, and especially with the big water mechanic changes, it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and smash that like button. I really do appreciate it. And with that, we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.